went off suddenly, didn't it? Hey, a bit Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek. I'm back. Welcome to episode 108 of Magnificent Mondays. And this week we're doing The Mummy. We're going to break down and review The Mummy. We're not watching it, in case anybody's wondering. So that should be fun. It's from 1999, not the 1932 version of The Mummy, the 1999 version, which is a super duper film, a great adventure. But Wingrace says, "Are you my mummy?" That's a Doctor Who reference. I know that one. We've also got a message from ages ago, if I can find it. I think I've got rid of it now. Hang on, where are we? From Tim Rose, who wrote, I will tell you, I didn't like this film when it was released. However, now I love it. Classic Hollywood film. He wrote on in the chat, but for some reason it's disappeared from StreamYard, so I can't share it with you. But anyway, Wingrace says, "Are you my mummy?" Anywho, excuse me. Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell, go and subscribe to Wingrace's channel now. Do it. It's showing in our chat, so we can at least see it. Yes, it's in the I pinned it in the chat, but it's not showing in the StreamYard version, so I can't share it, if you know what I mean. Yes, go and subscribe to Wingrace's channel. What else? I forgot what I were up to. Like and subscribe, share, drop a comment, all that stuff. Explore the description for links for stuff like merch, t-shirts, mugs, etc. What else? My books, Mercury Rapids, light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff, and the moon and comets and aliens, reptilian aliens and grey aliens and all that stuff. It's all in there. It's all a bit of fun. And Silent Predator, short horror novella about genetically engineered big cats eating people in a North Yorkshire village. On Amazon Kindle and paperback, give them a whirl. And also look for links for my other websites and stuff like that. Become a member of the YouTube channel, then you get early access videos and exclusive videos and all that cool stuff. And super chats and super thanks and all that palaver would be greatly appreciated. Right. So, The Mummy from 1999. Directed by Stephen Sommers. Whatever happened to him? He's dropped off the face of the earth, hasn't he? I think the last film he did was that Odd Thomas, wasn't it? That film with Anton Yelchin, which were okay. I didn't really like it, but I didn't hate it. I think did he fall out of favour with Hollywood because his films tended not. They were too big and didn't do very well. Films such as like G.I. Joe, which I really enjoyed, and films like that. But anyway, so directed by Stephen Sommers, written by him as well. It was kind of like the J.J. Abrams of the 90s and early aughts, wasn't it? And then J.J. Abrams stole his thunder. Anyway, based on, as I said, the 1932 Universal Mummy movie, which starred Boris Karloff as Ardeth Bay. And we've got a character in this film called Ardeth Bay, played by Oded Fair. But curiously, in one of the Mummy sequels, or maybe more than one, I can't remember, but one of the characters was played by Turhan Bey. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. Turhan Bey would go on to play the Centauri Emperor in Babylon 5. But anyway. This one stars Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz. Or is it Weisz? I don't know. John Hannah, Arnold Vosloo. Just love that name. It's just an amazing name. Jonathan Hyde, Kevin J. O'Connor. As I said, Oded Fair. Who else is in it? Omid. I forgot his name. Omid Jalili. Just look at the cast, Steve. Look at the cast list. There we go. Eric Avari. Omid Jalili. And various. Patricia Velasquez. Got to mention her, haven't we? Had a budget of $80 million, had a box office of 422, so it did really, really well. I think it was one of the biggest films of that year, wasn't it? One of them, obviously it wasn't the biggest film, because in 1999 we got Phantom Menace, didn't we? But it was the 6th highest grossing film of 1999. Right, anyway, so yes, it's a top-notch flick, in my opinion, and we're going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, even though I didn't get a chance to re-watch it. I've watched it 3 times, all with the audio commentaries. I've watched the behind-the-scenes on the Blu-ray. I haven't had a chance to watch it, even though I've had all week. I haven't had a chance to watch the film. But anyway, I'll muddle through. Right, so I'll put myself down in the corner and we'll get on with it. As I said, we're not going to watch the film. We're going to go through it in a series of stills, maybe the odd little snippet. I may get a copyright claim at some point. I can't remember. Is Universal okay with copyright claims? It depends. We'll see. I'll try and be careful. Right, so I'll put myself down in the corner and we shall begin. I'm sure I've forgotten something. I'm sure I have. Anyway. Right, so down I go, into the corner. See that one? Yeah, that'll do. And full screen this baby, if I can press the right buttons. And off we jolly well go. Is it going to come on? There we go, we get the old Universal logo. Not the best one. I like the old 70s one. But anyway, we get this one. I think it's going to change, I think, into the sun or the moon or something. There we go, the sun. Because we're off to Egypt. We're off to Egypt now. There we are. Apparently this is Thebes. I don't think there were massive pyramids in Thebes. I think Thebes is now Luxor, which is like 600 miles. Is it about 600 miles from Cairo and the Giza pyramids? But anyway, so there it is. I don't think there were big pyramids in Thebes. Or huge sphinxes. There are sphinxes, but I don't think there were sphinxes that big. It doesn't matter. Lots of CG in this film, by the way. Some of it's held up pretty well. Quite a lot of it hasn't. But it looks fine to me. It's just an adventure. There we go. Thebes, city of the living, says the narrator, who is Oded Fair, as Ardeth Bey, who plays a magi, who they're supposed to protect the city of the dead, which we'll get to in a minute. Right, so there's Pharaoh on his chariot. Who plays the Pharaoh, by the way? I've never bothered to check. Is he famous? I don't know. Does it tell us? Aharon Ipale plays Pharaoh Seti the First. Oh, right. He's an Israeli-American actor. Right, fair enough. What's he been in? We're in Fiddler on the Roof, Raid on Entebbe. That's with the 1977 Raid on Entebbe is the one with I forgot his name now. Charles Bronson, isn't it? And Concorde, Airport 79. I really like that one. Even though it's rubbish, but I still like it. Anyway, there it is. Pharaoh Seti the First. And there's Arnold Vosloo as Imhotep. By the way, this is supposed to be set. Does it give us a date? By the way, let me just check back. It's supposed to be the 19th dynasty or so. I don't know if the dates are accurate. I'm just going and seeing if we're going to get a date. I don't think we are we? I don't think we are, unless it comes afterwards. Go back to Arnold. It's not going to say. Imhotep. There was an actual person in ancient Egypt called Imhotep, who was the designer of the step pyramid of Zoser. He was this amazing bloke. He was probably an alien, to be honest, who brought loads of stuff to Egypt. He designed the first pyramid. He did all. He was like a doctor. Medical. Did all this medical stuff. He brought all this amazing stuff to Egypt way back in the 3rd dynasty or 4th dynasty. I can't remember which one, but way back when, like 2500 BC, a long time before this part is set. And Justin's here, classic movie. Hello all, hello Justin. It is a jolly good flick. Anyway, so there's Arnold Vosloo. You may know, what else has he been in? He was in G.I. Joe, wasn't he? Have I seen him in anything else apart from that? Let's have a look, what else has he been in? I only remember him from this and G.I. Joe. Apparently, had to have. He had to be shaved. He was shaved all over, apparently. I don't know if that's true. That's what he said in the commentary for this film. Anyway, what else has he been in? G.I. Joe. Oh, and G.I. Joe Retaliation, obviously. He was in 24. Yeah, no, not done a huge amount of stuff that stands out. Telly, a lot of telly. Oh, a couple of Darkman films. Oh, he plays Darkman in a couple of the Darkman sequels. That was before this, actually. So there we go. Anyway, whatever. He's done voiceover work as well. Right, fair enough. Kept busy. He also had a Stargate episode, did he? Oh, right. I missed that one. They did talk about that person on Ancient Aliens, did they? Oh, right. I will have seen it, because I think I've seen all the Ancient Aliens so far. Apart from the very latest ones. But, not him. All right. Oh, but it, the fellow that played Seti the First, was he in Stargate? Oh, yeah, what? Oh, Imhotep. Oh, right. The character Imhotep was in Stargate. Oh, right. Was he? I honestly can't remember. Anywho, right, so, anyway, in this one, he's the priest, the high priest of Seti the First, who also happens to be in love. There she is, the lovely Patricia Velasquez as Anxana Moon. There she is, all painted up. Apparently she got the job. They actually cast another woman to play Anxana Moon, and she dropped out for whatever reason, with not much time to spare, so they drafted in the lovely Patricia. These chaps in gold, if you see them there, we got there, Imhoteps, so like guards, servants, whatever. Wingray says he was a Goa'uld, pretending to be his own first prime to get the Tok'ra Jafar alliance to die. Oh, right. I've seen the episode, but and I'd watch it and I think, oh yes, that, but it's not bringing up. Anyway, right, so she is beautiful, she is indeed. And thankfully, in the second film, Mum Returns, she gets more to do, doesn't she? She's not in this very much, unfortunately. Anywho, here she is. Apparently, on the airline version of this film, did they get ILM to do it? I don't know. Or was it just really shoddy? I don't know. But apparently, the airline version, she had like they painted a bikini on. I don't know did they shoot it where she had a bikini on, or did they do special effects bikini? I don't know, because I've not seen it on a plane, so I don't know. Is it on YouTube? I don't know. But anyway, they were in love. She was the Pharaoh's mistress or concubine, whatever. But they were in love, and they're doing this thing where they're doing that with their hands. They do that a lot to each other over the faces. It's to show their love. It's something they came up with, Arnold Vosloo and Patricia Velasquez. But anyway, there we see she's all painted up, and it's an idiot because he just touches her. Because nobody's supposed to touch her apart from the Pharaoh, which is why she's painted up. So that if anybody touches her, they'll smudge the paint, and the Pharaoh will know, and he'll go bonkers. So he touches her up, smears the paint, and then the Pharaoh comes in. There we go, speaking ancient Egyptian. Apparently the fella that did Stargate did the ancient Egyptian in here. We'll listen to him. Just me to just stop there. But anyway, they got a fella in to do the translation. So basically they're speaking the same, I imagine, ancient Egyptian that they spoke in Stargate. But Stephen Sommers, being Stephen Sommers, basically threw a lot of it out. And he said he didn't like the sound of it. So they ended up just saying these random words. He says, I like that word, And poor these actors, they'd learned their lines phonetically. And they had to suddenly just start saying all higgledy-piggledy ancient Egyptian words. But anyway, never mind. Right, so he comes in, catches them in the act. Well, nearly. There's Patricia pretending, she's not doing anything wrong. She's stroking her cat, which apparently was Stephen Sommers' idea for her to be doing that. But he's noticed as he points and he says something. I'm a The tartan. I remember the tartan bit. But she's not in tartan. She's not Scottish. Hang on. Go back again. You must think she's got a kilt on.
Yeah, Tammy Tartan.
Yeah. Hey, Tammy Tartan. It's not a tartan. She's not of the Clan MacLeod. Anyway, then suddenly Arnold appears behind and stabs him. There we go. And she stabs him, and they both stab him, and he dies. And his guards come in. There we go. The Pharaoh's guards come in, and she's basically going to sacrifice herself. Imhotep's going to run away, and she says, "You're the only one that can resurrect me." So basically, she knows she's going to die at the hands of Pharaoh's guards because they've slain the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh has been slain. That's my gladiator thing. So, but she takes her own life. There we go. She says, "Nobody else shall have me." And she takes her own life, and he steals her body and heads out to Hamunaptra. There it is, in the Moroccan desert. It's not. It's supposed to be in Egypt. There we go. Taking Ankh-Sunamun's corpse to Hamunaptra, which is they filmed at a real place, which was also in Spectre, and but they built a lot of extra bits on, and a lot of it's CG as well. Anyway, so here we go. So they're going to use the Book of the Dead to bring back her soul from the underworld. This is where we get a bit of dodgy CG. Wingrace says, "Q Slayer." I don't. You mean the band? I've never been into Slayer. I don't know. Are you on about something else? I don't know. Yeah, some dodgy CG. It doesn't look great, does it? It looks a bit poo, doesn't it? To be honest. It did at the time. To be completely honest, even back in 1999 when I saw it, I thought, that doesn't look very good. But anyway, here it comes. So this is supposed to be her soul or whatever, going back into it. And I'm not sure what we're going to do now. I think that they edited a bit out. They cut a bit out. He was supposed to do something with a knife. I don't know what, because it looks as though he's going to stab her with this knife. But then Pharaoh's guards appear out of nowhere and stop him. But I'm not sure what he's supposed to. I don't know. I don't know what he's supposed to do. But anyway, they've interrupted the ceremony, and so her soul leaves her again, thusly, and heads back. So she's not being resurrected. But so they get the guards. They get not guards. Imhotep's what they call them? Imhotep's minions, we'll call them. Mummify all them. We'll see them again later. And they mummify him, Imhotep as well. But they cut his tongue out first. Look, they've got his tongue like that. They're going to cut his tongue out so he can't utter the words or whatever. I don't like seeing that. Cause I've got a weird tongue. I suffer from... I don't suffer. I have got ankylosing, which means my tongue is fastened down at the front. So they couldn't do that to me. Or they could, but it'd hurt more. Anyway. And they mummify him. There we go. They cut his tongue out. They're mummifying him alive. Apparently he didn't like this, did Arnold Vosloo. Because apparently it is him in there. He said he was in there for like 4 hours. You can see they've not actually wrapped him in loads of, intricate bandages. You can see it's just like a bodysuit or whatever he's wearing. You can see the lines mostly are drawn on out there, you can see. But anyway, he was in there for 4 hours, and he says it wasn't nice. And he says it didn't even need to be him. It could have been somebody else, because he can't see his face. He says in the commentary, it could have been a 75-year-old Indian woman. But anyway. So they chuck him in there, and then they throw in some CG beetles, scarab beetles, for good measure. There they are. Look, looks a bit poor. He's doing that, doesn't he? He's like chucking them in. Yeah, there are about 6 plastic beetles that he threw in, and then the rest are CG. There we go. He could have just tip them in. Why is he doing that? He's doing that loads of times. Just tip them in. So anyway, and then they seal him up with the key. There we go. We'll see that again. And then place him in a sarcophagus. And there we go. There he rests for 3,000 years or whatever. The Magi would never allow him to be released. And then we see him the worst shovels ever. The East Egyptians were amazing, but they were rubbish at shovels, weren't they? What are these things? They're not very good at brushing this sand in. Look, these rubbish shovels. Couldn't they invent a proper, like, shovel or spade or whatever you want to call it? But anyway, so here we are, and we see that they're burying him at the foot of the statue of Anubis. There we go, and this is going to get the titles. The Mummy. And it transforms, and we're going to go to not present day, but 1920 something. It'll tell us in a minute. Maybe they're going to tell us. They're going to tell us the year. I can't remember what year it is. I'll look on here. 1926. 1290 BC, by the way, was what we've just seen. And now we jump forward to 1926. AD, Anno Domini. None of this CE nonsense and BCE. It's AD, isn't it? So here we are. We're at Hamunaptra now. Obviously, it's a ruin. It was filmed. I don't think any of this were filmed in Egypt. I don't think. It was mostly filmed in Morocco and England at Shepperton Studios. But this is a real place where they're filming at. It's a dormant volcano that we also saw in Spectre. Blofeld's base were in this place, and Inspector, the James Bond film. But anyway, but here they've built, obviously all these ruins they've built for the film. These aren't there in real life. But these walls are like a dormant volcano, caldera, and like a fort. It's been turned into a fort, I think by the Portuguese, in the hundreds of years ago. But anyway, now the French Foreign Legion are there, and they're fighting off, I think they said Tuaregs. They're either Bedouins or Tuaregs, I'm not sure. Maybe a bit of both, I don't know. But they're fighting these off. Here they are, look. French Foreign Legion. And there's O Dead Fair as our deathbait, and his Magi looking on. Are they the same Magi that went to see the baby Jesus in Bethlehem? Don't know. Don't know. But they're watching on. We'll see this view again, by the way. No, not this one. Another one that we're going to see later. Don't know what the tattoos mean. But anyway, this is the Colonel, the French Foreign Legion Colonel. I think I saw somewhere that they'd actually gone there because they heard there were treasure there. They're not there in any official capacity, and the Colonel's led his squad or his troop or whatever you want to call him. I don't know what Foreign Legion has. His Legion there to look for the treasure, the legendary treasure of Hamunaptra. But now he's getting cold feet because they're getting attacked by thousands of Bedouin troops, or there we go, Tuareg troops. Here they are. Obviously, not CG people. There are some people on horseback, some Moroccan, horsemen, and a lot of Czechoslovakian stuntmen. Why Czechoslovakian? I have no idea, but they are. But anyway, he decides he's legging it. He's off. There we go. Off he goes. He's going. Apparently, the actor on the horse was the horse master for the film. He was the head of looked after all the horses or whatever. Don't know his name. But anyway, right here we see Brendan Fraser and Kevin J. O'Connor, who I think has been in most Stephen Sommers films. I can't remember which ones he wasn't in. He wasn't in Mummy Returns, unfortunately. You'd have thought they'd found a way to get him in, wouldn't you? But anyway, never mind. So, the Legion is pretty hardcore. Yes, they are. And apparently they've got good dentists, if you see in a minute, if I land on it. But anyway, so there we go. Because Brendan Fraser's got... I always want to call him Brendan Foster. Back in the 80s, there was a British long-distance runner. I think he won gold at the Olympics in 1980, I think, called Brendan Foster. And I was getting mixed up with Brendan Fraser. Anyway, so Brendan Fraser's in charge now. I don't know what rank he is, by the way. I don't know. But we're gonna see all the others. There we go, getting ready. We're going to see how they've all got lovely teeth. But first, he's called Benny, by the way. Kevin J. O'Connor. He's thinking, sod this, I'm off. Off he goes. Chucks his gun away. And there we go. Lovely teeth in the French Foreign Legion, look. Must have good dental insurance. But anyway. Right, so off we go. It's very reminiscent of Zulu, isn't it, this bit? They're all firing. Or Lawrence of Arabia, stuff like that. It is cool. But they're using single-shot rifles. I don't know. If Quest were here, he'd tell us what rifles they were using. I have no idea. But the single-shot, got to reload them every time. Which isn't really that good, is it? But anyway, they're getting wiped out by these Tuaregs. Does it say? Let's have a look, see if it tells us in here. It's missed out that bit. It's missed out this bit entirely in the plot description on Wikipedia. Never mind. Anywho, so fighting away, they're getting slaughtered. Here he is doing his stuff, and he's thinking, "Sod this, I'm off as well." But Benny's the coward of the film. He steals the film in a lot of ways as Kevin J. O'Connor, but his character is bloody awful, and he's supposed to be, but brilliantly so. You know, he's a terrible, not terrible as in a bad character. He's a bad man played brilliantly by Kevin J. O'Connor. He's like the worst of the worst. He is great. Justice says, "I think they're Lebel rifles." I have no idea. Anyway, so he goes, and he gets into into there, and he closes the door. I don't know how he gets back out again. I don't know. Apparently nobody goes in after him. Anyway, it seems like they slaughtered everybody else. Look, of the Bedouins, Tuaregs, whatever. But he's going running around. And he gets to the bottom of the statue of Anubis. And they're all getting ready to shoot him, but then all their horses start whinnying and neighing and jumping up and all that stuff. Apparently they had trouble getting them all doing it at the same time for some reason. I don't know. You think they'd make loud noises or something? I don't know. But apparently it was really hard for them to all react at the same time, all the horses. But anyway, they all go running off. And they're thinking, what's going on here? I should be dead. And then he hears a voice coming from the statue. You will die, you will die. Actually, I've never actually heard that. It must be really quiet. Or is it maybe it's in ancient Egyptian. I don't know. I've never noticed. But anyway. 1886 for the Legion, the Horseman car 98, I believe. All right, okay. Justin's taking on the role of Quest for this episode. Anyway, is it talking? And then we see, oh look, the face of somebody appears in the sand. Again, not great CG, but it's fine. Anyway, there we see. He finds a horse and races off. Most of these are dummies. I think maybe all of them are, but thankfully one is in a minute because he runs it over. Look. Oh no, these are the baddies going away. Look, that poor. I hope that's a dummy. He's getting run over by the horses. Right, and Brendan he escapes, and there we go. And he says, "Shall we kill him?" He says, "No, the desert will kill him." There we go. And we get to, I think it's this shot. I think it's that shot we get again later on, with him saying exactly the same thing, but with different subtitles. Anyway, then we cut to Giza. Connects Giza across the pyramids. It's not Thebes. There were no pyramids in Thebes. But there are at Giza. In Cairo. We're at Cairo, not Giza. That's Giza. We're at Cairo. At the Cairo Museum, it says, is it going to show us the outside? There we go. The Museum of Antiquities. In Cairo. I've been to the actual Cairo Museum. It doesn't look like that because this is in Morocco. I can't remember what it is. Let's have a look. Does it tell us? Let's have a look. Interior of the museum. Well, that's not that, so it don't matter. I don't think it's going to tell us, is it? No. What the exterior is. I think they said it was a school or something like that. I can't remember. The interior is obviously, in England somewhere. Mentmore Towers in Buckinghamshire, but we'll see that in a minute. By the way, the dormant vault, the Hamunaptra, is at Erfoud in Morocco, by the way. No, it's not telling us. Never mind. Wasn't a lot of the horsemen actually were no good riders? I think the commentary said. I'm not sure. I don't know if they said that in this one. I think they said it in. Were it in Lord of the Rings? They got like Hungarian horsemen or something for Lord of the Rings. And there's some of them ones. It might have been this one. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe you're right. Probably are. Yes. But I think the Moroccan ones weren't very good. But the Czechoslovakian stunt horsemen were really good, weren't they? But, anywho, they got the job done. Right. So the Museum of Antiquities in Cairo in 1926. This we're going to get introduced to Evie. What's the last name? I've forgotten. What's the last name? I'm blanking. Evelyn Carnahan. Oh, right. I actually thought it was something else. Anyway, here she is. There she is. The lovely Rachel Weisz, Mrs. Daniel Craig, Mrs. James Bond, being a librarian and gonna cause a disaster now. She's stuck on a ladder trying to reach and put a book away into where it's supposed to be. But now she's... that's not actually her. That's a stilt walker, a stilt artiste, or whatever they call them. You can't just tell it's not her if you look at it. Is it a man? It could be. Couldn't find a woman. But anyway, she's going to fall now. There we go. One take. It all goes down. Domino effect. All the bookcases all fall down. And she goes, oops. Did it in one take. And thankfully they didn't need to do it again. Because it would have taken a lot of setting up, wouldn't it? Anyway, there we go. She says, oops. The lovely Rachel Weisz. I've always said Weiss. But anyway. Right, so here's Erica Vary as the curator. You may remember him from... He'd been in Stargate as well. And other stuff. Loads of other stuff. But, so he's the curator. He obviously berates her, says, don't know why I keep you here. She says, because I'm super good at being a librarian and cataloguing all this stuff. And he says, no, because your parents, God rest their souls, were generous donators to this museum or whatever. Anyway, she hears a noise and she goes exploring the museum, which looks cool, I must admit. And I don't know why she doesn't see what she's going to see in a minute, because she's here, look, with a flaming torch. And she should be able to see what's in this sarcophagus here. She walks up to it, and obviously she can see it. We can't see it, but she can see it, can't she? Look. But then, it's a film. It doesn't matter what they see, because she's looking directly in it. So she can see that her brother is in there with a dead body. I think he's supposed to be drunk. But anyway, like I say, a mummy pops up, jump scare, we all laugh. Ha ha ha. And it's Jonathan, her brother, played by John Hannah, who is Scottish, and apparently he's not. I don't know if I think I've heard him speak normally, and he does have. He's not like got a thick Scottish accent. He's not like. I'm trying to think of somebody with a thick Scottish accent now. But he's not like Rabsy Nesbitt or anybody thing like that. But he's putting on an English accent for this. He's doing a David Tennant, or David Tennant's doing a John Hannah. David Tennant, another Scottish actor who put on an English accent when he played the Doctor. But anyway, in Doctor Who, but it does. Could you lie in a coffin, a sarcophagus, with an actual dead body? Obviously, this isn't an actual dead body. I know it's just a film, but I don't know. He's supposed to be drunk, but that probably explains it. But I couldn't. But anyway, so she berates him for that. I think she gives him a little slap on his face. But he's got something that he wants to show her. Here he is. There we go. Found it on a dig down in Thebes. Oh, remember that place? Which I think is Luxor now. I'm going to have to check that and make sure Thebes is Luxor. I think it is. Thebes. In Egypt. Yes, it's Luxor now. And I've been there. I've been to Luxor. Really, really nice. I had a great time in Luxor. Anyway, Right, the Sonesta St George Hotel. If you're in Luxor, stay at the Sonesta St George Hotel. It's really nice. Anyway, so he's found this. He's found like a puzzle box or something. Hope it's not got Cenobites in it. Anyway, she makes it pop open. And there's a map inside. There we go. You found something. There we go. It's a map. It's a map to the city of Hamunaptra. So she shows it to the curator, who just decides to set it on fire. He says, "Oh, this is all nonsense," and then just sets it on fire accidentally. Sets it on fire accidentally. There we go. And they put it out, and she says, "You've burnt off the part that tells her where the city is. It's for the best, I'm sure." We learn later he's a magi. He's like an agent of the magi. Yes, we have such sights to show you. Doug Bradley, met him as well. Nice chap at a convention. My son had his photo taken with him. Anywho, but my son's not a Hellraiser fan. My son knows Doug Bradley from when he were in one of the Wrong Turn sequels. I can't remember which one, but he were in one of them. So my son likes them Wrong Turn films for some reason. But anyway. Right, so now they've got to find out where he got the map from, where he got the thing, which was the key. So when it opened, it was the key for the sarcophagus. It's also the key for the Book of the Dead. So got to go and find where he got it from. He essentially stole it from somebody, and we learn it's going to be Rick O'Connell. But there's Omid Jalili. Does his character have a name? I have no idea. Hassan, Warden, Gad Hassan. I don't know if I ever mention his name. I just call him Stinky Fellow and stuff like that. Anyway, here he is, Omid Jalili. What's he been in? He's done a lot of TV in the UK. He's a comedian. He was Sky Captain and The World of Tomorrow, wasn't he? What else has he been? He's been in a James Bond film, I think, hasn't he? But I can't remember which one. I'm blanking off the top of my head. What's he been in? Let's have a look. Sky Captain. World Is Not Enough. Who was he in The World Is Not Enough? I'm going to have to watch that one again. We're in Gladiator as well. Alien Autopsy. He were in that. With, what they call him now? Oh, never mind. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. He were in that as well. Don't remember him seeing him in that either. And loads of other stuff. Right, so we're here at Cairo Prison, which I think is an apartment block in Morocco. They've just added loads of bars, but it's actually people live there. Anyway, so here we're going to meet Rick O'Connell again. There he is, Brendan Fraser. Let his hair grow, because it's 3 years later, by the way. So it must have been 1923 at the beginning. Now it's 1926. Or is it 1929 now? And it was 1920, whatever. But it's 3 years later. He's been arrested for having a good time. But anyway, so they want to know where he got the thing from. And says, "Get me out of here and I'll tell you." He punches Jonathan. Anyway, they're going to hang him. So he kisses Evie. A proper good kiss, that, I must admit. A good proper, it's one that wants slathered and stuff and all that. But anyway, gives her a kiss. Says, "Get me the hell out of here." And they're going to hang him because apparently he had a very good time. But anyway, she's offering him money, £100 to save the man's life, because in Egypt they use pounds. I think they still do, Egyptian pounds. When I went in, I can't remember what year it was now, but 2004-ish, it were about 10 Egyptian pounds to 1 British pound. I don't know what it is now, but that's what it was back then. So she's bartering for his life, but here they're going to hang him. And they did actually hang Brendan Fraser, and he did actually pass out because it went a bit awry. And they didn't realise it, which is why, it's just, here, bang, they're actually hanging him. Obviously, he's got a harness and stuff and all, it's safety gear, but something had gone a bit wrong and it was a little bit tight, and he does actually pass out in real life, and you actually see it. But anyway, she's bartering with him, and they come to a. There he is. There, I think he's actually passing out there. They come to an agreement, because he wants a percentage of the treasure from Hamunaptra. So there we go. So they come to a decision. So there we go. Cut him down. So now they're off to. They're off on a boat. There we go, on the Nile. This was actually filmed not in Egypt. This was actually filmed in England at some docks somewhere. I'll tell you where, because it says here. There we go. The historic dockyard of Chatham. That's where this was filmed. And then pyramids were added afterwards. On the other side of the river, obviously. So yeah, they're going on what do they call them now? Like a steamship, whatever they call them, steamboat. What do they call them now? Like you see on Mississippi, them sort of things. They're going on one of those. We see O'Connell's spruced himself up, so they're getting ready to go. But we learn that also the warden's coming with them as well. And there we go. Now, what are you doing here? He's protecting his investment. So they're all going. Right, so here they are on the boat. Hang on. Well, they will be on the boat heading down. But here come the Magi to cause bother. We see him a few times with his weird blade. Paddle wheel. Is that what they call it? It doesn't sound right, how does it? Is that what they call them? Paddle wheel boats? I don't know. Paddle steamer. Paddle steamer, yes. Paddle steamer, that's what they call them, isn't it? Yes. Anywho, right, so Jonathan's gambling with a bunch of Americans who are also going to Hamunaptra because they've got somebody who's been there before. And we learn that's Benny. So Benny's taking these American treasure hunters to Hamunaptra, along with Jonathan Hyde's. What's his character name? I can't remember. Dr. Alan Chamberlain. Wonder if he's named after Richard Chamberlain and because Richard Chamberlain played Alan Quatermain, didn't he? In King Solomon's Mines, didn't he? So I wonder if that's where they got that name from. I don't know. Anyway, he's the Egyptologist going with them. Jonathan Hyde's been in lots of stuff. Jumanji, we're in that, wasn't he? Even though the film looks dated, it's still beautiful. I think it's got a great atmosphere. I think it looks period. It looks like an old-fashioned film, doesn't it? I think it's cool. I love this film. The effects look dated, if that's what you mean. But anyway, so the race is on, but the Magi are sneaking on board. Here we see Rick sorting out his weapons. Are we going into battle? Almost like a painting. Yes, some of the scenes are very painterly, aren't they? But anyway, so he knows it's dangerous at Hamunaptra. He says there's something down there that's dangerous, and she says, she's going looking for archaeological artifacts, and he knows all about it. The Book of the Dead that's made of gold and all that stuff. But then he comes across Benny. He finds Benny hiding. There he is. And my little birdie Benny. Anyway, so he threatens to kill him, but no, not going to. Anyway, throws Benny overboard, but that's not the last we'll see of Benny. But you see somebody's got on board. Look, they've left wet footprints, but she's in her cabin. The lovely Rachel Weisz, whatever. She's like a bit ditzy because she's still thinking about the kiss that he gave her in the prison. Saying it wasn't even that good a kiss, but then, oh no, a Magi appears there, and he's after that. He's after that map. But O'Connell comes in and starts shooting, like that, and then sets the boat on fire. Sorry, Justin. The effects are dated, but they're still fun. It's a late 90s look. Yes, it is. some of the effects are look good, but some of them look a bit overly CG. But anyway, but all the practical effects are cool. Anyway, let's say shoots him. The other fella, has he been set on fire? The other fella, I don't know. He's been stabbed in the eye. He's very robust, is this fella, because he's got stabbed in the eye or poked in the eye. Excuse me. He even gets set on fire later on, and he keeps going forward. He's like a Terminator. Anyway, Rick grabs Evie. He says, "No, the map." He says, "It's up here. I've got the map." Anyway, there he is. Look. I was going to grab the key, because they need the key as well. There he goes, going to grab that. But this is where he gets set on fire. But Jonathan comes in, knocks him into the fire, grabs the key thing. This is my thingy. They don't know it's a key yet. And he grabs it, and out he goes. Anyway, the boat's well on fire. Would like to see them do one more mummy. I think Stephen Sommers says he'd like to do another one. Auntie said he'd like to do another one, but he'd want to do it in Egypt. So I don't know if he meant actually go and film in Egypt or just set it in Egypt. Because the third one wasn't in Egypt, was it? It was China or whatever, wasn't it? Which I've only seen once, and I can't remember if I liked it or not. But I've got it. Anyway. Bring Rachel back, yes, because she wasn't in the third one, was she? Unfortunately. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, I like this one. This looks like somebody's shooting at him. Like I said, you see the bullets coming through the wall, and they're obviously done with air rams or whatever. I don't know, but this looks like it might actually hurt him if it got, because it comes like there. She just pulls him out of the way just in time. Look. And he actually looks genuinely surprised, and she does as well. But they don't call cut, and the professionals. But anyway, they're off, and shooty, not shooty Gatwa, not the doctor fella. But anyway, chucks her overboard. There we go, because they've got to get off the boat. Got to fight more bad guys. He jumps over. Oh wait. The warden's there. What shall I do? He says, I'm going to go get help. And he jumps over. And then he thinks, oh. And then he jumps over as well. The Americans are having fun shooting. And he's going, Americans. And then this fella comes back, still on fire. But he goes overboard. I'm sure he's fine. He's gone into the water now. He'll be fine. But anyway, so everybody's jumping out. And now we cut to all that. By the way, everything on the boat, all this were filmed on the sound stage in Shepperton. That they're filled with water. But now we cut to a pond somewhere. I can't remember where. Frensham Ponds in Farnham, in Surrey. That's where this is. And apparently we're really cold. Justin says, the third one's not bad. I liked it. I can't remember if I liked it or not. I've only seen it once. I think that one did scare them by the commentary. Can't remember. What? All the Brits with their Americans comment. Yes. Oh, that bit with, yes. When it comes near his head and she just pulled him out of the way in time, yes. Anyway, right, so they're all coming out of the water now. And we see that they're on opposite sides of the river. Look, all the Americans are over there. They've got the horses and Benny and all that. They're on this side. And apparently, that to do some CG on Rachel Weisz's nightgown there, because it's wet through, and apparently it went very sheer. The bullets. Yes. Yes, the two apparently went very sheer, and you could see. I saw everything. To quote, it was too late. I'd seen it all, seen everything. To quote Patrick Stewart. But yeah, so the two cover her up. But anyway, there we go. Anyway, they're doing this little thing. I'll just play it. I've got all the horses.
Hey, Benny! Looks to me like you're on the wrong side of the river!
Oh dear. So how they're going to get? Are they going to have to get a boat now or find a bridge? I don't know. But obviously they do get onto the right side of the river. I don't know if the British like us or dislike us. You baffle us sometimes. But anyway. Americans are amazing. They are amazing people. You are. But baffling at times. I'm sure we're just as baffling to you sometimes with our Yorkshire puddings and stuff. Anyway. Right, so then we cut to daytime. We're back in Morocco again. I don't know where this is. Jonathan's buying camels, getting angry with the camel vendor, saying, only want 4, the whole bloody herd. But they're so expensive. Just pay the man anyway. And then we see Rachel Weisz has had a makeup done. Get them eyes. There they are. Look. Apparently that was her idea. She'd seen some, I don't know, like belly dancers or something. She'd seen some dancers and they had this amazing, eye makeup. I don't know, curls or whatever. I don't know what they call it. But she said, I want my eyes done like that. And very nice they are as well. Right, so they're off on camels, and they all hated the camels apparently, and the camels hated them, particularly Kevin J. O'Connor. But anyway, off they go, because camels apparently they do what they want to do. If they don't want to do something, you can't get them to do it. But anyway, I think a lot of this is second unit. I don't think that's our main cast of characters there, of the trips and across the Moroccan desert. But anyway, right. So and this is where we're at a bit of day for night now. This is the same shot that we saw earlier on with the Magi on top of the cliff. And he's just used the same shot again, but saying different things. But there they are. Look, we saw that earlier on. He's saying exactly the same thing, but with different subtitles. I don't know what he's saying. I can't remember. No, it just says speaking Arabic. I'm sure on here it tells us what he's saying, but I can't remember what he said. Justin says, "We're a bunch of loons." How Brits pronounce certain words makes us laugh. But your family. I was going to say aluminium. It's got an eye in. Well, it's got 2 eyes in it. Aluminium. And our spelling, yes, of words like colour, we put a U in it because it's supposed to have a U in it, and theatre is RE, centre is RE, not ER, but whatever. Anywho, but what is the saying? We share a language. What is it? Separated by a common language, or something like that. America and Britain separated by a common language, something like that. Anyway, right, so they're arriving at Hamunaptra, and they just happen to arrive at exactly the same time as Bennett and the Americans. Yes, cancel or cancelled. The American spelling of cancelled, I'll just have 1 L, won't it? Whereas we have 2, because 2 L's are better than 1. Anyway. Right, so they've arrived, and it says a weird thing here. He's on his camel, and he says to what does it say here? He comes up to Rick. He says, "Nice camel." I thought, well, yeah, well, you're on a camel as well. Never mind. Anyway, so they're waiting for Hamunaptra to appear. I don't know why it's not there. Is it magic? I don't know. Is it hidden by a mirage? I don't know. We've got to wait for the sun to come up. Does this happen every day, or is it just at a certain time of year? I have no idea. But it's not. We can see it's not there. But then as the sun rises, it appears like a mirage. In a minute. Oh, for Pete's sake! He's going to show it. For Pete's sake! Big bloody thing. There we go. There it goes. Appears like a mirage out of the desert. There we go. Well, you look at that. Can you believe it? Anyway, so they've got it's a race now to get there. There we see that's Hamunaptra and the dormant volcano. For some reason, I thought it was a crater, an impact crater, but it's not a dormant volcano, so that means it could erupt at some point. But anywho, I don't know if it has a name either. Oh, yes, it does have a name. I did look it up and I've forgotten, and I've didn't write it down. Never mind. But it's in Morocco. Right, so they're going to race now. They do a bet, obviously. $500 to whoever gets there first. They have a bet. So off they go. That's why they're fighting, because there's a bet on. Obviously, Benny ends up falling over. A lot of dirt on the film, isn't there? I've been noticing as I've been pausing it. A lot of dirt. Anyway, off they go. And they arrive first. Yay! But, whatever. So down they go into the depths of Hamunaptra. Right, so she knows this. So this is how they illuminated their interiors, when they didn't have flames and stuff like that. So there we go. She used lots of reflective mirrors. I don't know. Would that work? I don't know, but it does in this film. Right. Oh, it's a preparation room for the mummies and stuff. That's what they're in there. So now they're having a look around. They hear chittering noises. Sounds like bugs. We'll hear that it is bugs. Lots of scarabs we're going to see. Anyway, right. So the foot, they're at the base of the statue, the Anubis statue. So that's where he's buried. Yeah, that's what it said in something. But then they arrive as well, so they're all pointing the guns at one another, and she notices, look, that hang on, let's have a look. There we go. She notices that there's something underneath there, so she says, "Come on, boys. There's other places to dig." So she takes her chaps. They're going to go on underneath. So there must be some stairs or something. I don't know, but they go underneath. Don't tell us how they got there, but they're just there. So there must be some stairs or an elevator. But anyway, there we go. Brendan Fraser's just knocking the crap out of the set. He's knocking out chunks of plaster and stuff. And the set designer wasn't happy, apparently. But he said that they didn't tell us what not to do, so we just started hitting the set. Anyway. Meanwhile, the warden's gone off looking for treasure. Here he is looking round, and he finds some in the form, there we go, of these bejeweled scarabs, which are more than they appear. I'm not sure how this works, but there's a bit of fun there. Oh, a minute, where is it? Is it that one? No, never mind. So he finding them and putting them in his bag. There we go. Meanwhile, the others, the Americans and Jonathan Hyde, they've found a sarcophagus, so they're going to try and open it. They said, "Oh, let's get the natives, I suppose you could say, to open it." So that's what they're going to do. So he's saying, "Open it, put your backs into it, and all that." And then, it all comes open, and they get burnt with salt acid. There we go. So, by the way, as I said, this is, although it's like an adventure film, it does have, some spooky and horrific parts in it, because it is basically a remake of a horror film, because The Mummy was a horror film back in 1932. But anyway, so they've got rid of their native, what they call them, porters or whatever you call them. Are they dead now, or they're just going to get medical attention? I don't know. But anyway, suddenly, I said, the Imhotep sarcophagus just falls out of the sky. Any minute now. There we go. Just randomly. There it is. I wonder if they had marks on the floor or something. Don't step past that, because the sarcophagus are going to come crashing down. I'm sure it doesn't weigh a lot. But anyway, there we go. It's a sarcophagus. So they're going to get into that. Meanwhile, he's getting his bejeweled scarabs. But then we see they're not just bejeweled scarabs. They are tiny little suspended animation chambers for actual living scarabs. Can they do that? Can they live for thousands of years inside a little jewel? Who knows? Maybe they can. Anyway, while he's doing that, it goes into his shoe, look. There we go, because it's industrious, isn't it? It's off in there, look, and it gets in his shoe, goes in his foot, heads up his body. There we go. He's grunting and stuff. And I think in the first take of this scene, he's supposed to be all panicking. He can feel it climbing up in the inside of his body, this scarab. And he's, obviously the direction is, you're panicking and you're pulling at your clothing and stuff like that. And he pulled a bit too hard and all his tackle fell out. And he carried on because he didn't realise. And everybody were laughing. I don't know what Omar Jalili's tackle looks like, if you know what I mean. But anyway. So anyway, he pulls his shirt up. And then we see it's, again, not great CG. It was at the time, because we'd not seen anything like this much. Because it's going up into his head. There it goes. And so I presume it's gone into his brain now. It's like a SETI eel from Star Trek 2. Driving him crazy. Anyway. Does it say who it is? It says, who is it? I don't. She tells us. No, it's he that shall not be named. So we don't know that it's him, Imhotep. Imhotep. But anyway, she notices that. Says, oh, we've got a key. We've got a key. So they're going to open it up. That's some sort of lock. There we go. It's got the key. Hang on. And she's just about to open it when we hear screaming. And I think here comes Omar Jalili. Is it this bit? There he goes. And he comes running down. And this bit here isn't actually Omar Jalili. Here we go. There we go. That's actually a stuntman. That looks a lot like Omar Jalili, doesn't it? It's actually a stuntman we're on a wire. And, they stopped him just like millimetres before he hit the wall. So he had a lot of trust that he wouldn't lean forward a little bit, didn't he? Because he ran at it full blast. Anyway. And now he's dead. Not in real life, obviously. I mean, the warden is now no longer with us. So anyway, so there we go. They don't mourn his death. That's it. He's gone. That's it. He's done. He's out of the film. But it's where they're talking about 3 of their diggers were melted by salt acid. Is that a thing? Don't know. Ancient booby trap. Anyway, right. So now he's just going through the warden's bag. We learned he's got some booze in there. There we go. Glenlivet or something, I think he says. Does he say? Hang on, where is it? There we go. Glenlivet, 12 years old. So, a bottle of scotch or whatever Glenlivet is. I imagine it's scotch. But anyway, the Magi are back and now they're attacking. So, all shooting. I don't know how many people die in this. None of the main characters die, but I imagine porters and stuff are dying. But and Magi as well. So, anyway, they see him off. He gets some dynamite out, does Rick, and lights that, and that stops Death Bay. And he just says, leave this place or die. And then they bugger off. So I thought, yeah, fair enough. He must be scared of dynamite for some reason. Anyway, right. So they decide they're going to pool their resources for the time being, at least at night. And she's got drunk now as Evie, and she's going to throw herself at Rick. But she's having a little history lesson about how she's into Egypt and all that stuff, and because of her parents, and the legend of Hamunaptra is what got her into Egyptology, and she's proud of what she is. She's a librarian. Anyway, so I am a librarian. Then she says, I'm going to kiss you now, and then she passes out. There we And he doesn't take advantage of her because he's a good man. Anywho, next morning, they're back at work doing their treasure hunting. They found a box of canopic jars. I think that's just my cat at the window. Never mind, she can stay out a bit. He's reading he will kill all who open this chest. Something about the mummy, obviously, and assimilate their organs and fluids. Because it's the canopic jars of Imhotep. Because when ancient Egyptians mummified you, they took out all your organs, put them in jars, and you took them with, I don't know why, you took them with you to the afterlife. I presume they were put back in you. I don't know. But anyway. So it's the curse. Anyway. Right, so they're going to open up their sarcophagus. This is the one with Imhotep in it. And there he is. It's still juicy. So it must have been well sealed. Sounds like a can't opic jar to me. Yes, or a shouldn't opic. Or a won't opic. Anyway, so there he is. There's Imhotep. And he's still juicy. She says, it looks like he's still decomposing. And then we see that he was buried alive. So obviously he got his... Because he were in bandages. Pardon me. All the bandages seem to have mostly rotted away. He's got his arm because he's scratched. He's tried to scratch his way out. But then he thought, oh, well, I can't scratch my way out. I will write something instead. He left a message. I presume in hieratic. What does it say? Death is only the beginning. Is that? Had I written or something? Anyway, so there we go. And we have a close up on the mummy. We think he's going to move, but he's not going to yet. Because when he moves, it totally changes. As you can see there, it's all quite shiny, and it's obviously a practical model. But then when he becomes CG and starts moving about, it looks completely different. But never mind. Right, so what they found? Oh, I found the Book of the Dead. Oh my God, it's the Book of the Dead. And they're the canopic jars. You can see one of them's broken. With Imhotep's internals inside. Anyway, right, she sees, obviously, the passage of time. They've come back out now. He's trying to open up the book, and she says, oh, because she sees, see on the front there, look, you need a key to open that. And she knows that she's got the key. Anyway, they're all happy with their canopic jars to be able to sell. And that was the 20s, wasn't it? That was the 1920s. Just went into Egypt, got what you could, sold it off to collectors and museums. They didn't give a monkeys, did they? Apparently there were so many mummies in ancient Egypt, they used to use them as firewood and stuff like that. That's what he's saying there. He used to burn the bones and stuff. But anyway, she's found some dried up scarab beetles that ate him alive. Ate Imhotep alive. Should have put them in them little things. They'd have still been alive, wouldn't they? The ones that got the warden. Anyway, so here we go. Bit of I'm blanking. Information. What was the word now? Anyway, never mind. If Imhotep, we know his name, but anyway, if the mummy is revived, he will bring you the 10 plagues of Egypt. Don't know if that's true or not, I don't know, but anyway. I don't know if we go through all the 10 plagues in this film. I don't know, I'd count them up, I'm not sure. But anyway, she's going to steal the book. She has done, actually. Here we go. She steals the book from him. She's sneaking while he's asleep. Must be a heavy sleeper. She's going to open it up and have a look inside. She says, I'm just borrowing it. And she's going to read from the book now. Look, she's reading from the book. and he's going to come to life. No, he's come to life as the mummy. And he said, no, you mustn't read from the book. Haven't they watched Evil Dead? Obviously not. But anyway, suddenly, because he's come back to life now, that one of the plagues is coming. The locusts are coming. Look, oh no, the locusts. There they are. Obviously CG locusts, but they're not. They actually covered Jonathan Hyde up with living locusts. And apparently, he were fine. He were fine with it. He didn't care. So they go running inside. The fella, one of the Americans who wears glasses. I don't know the names of them. Who we got? David Daniels, Bernard Burns, and who else? Isaac Henderson, but I don't know which is which. I don't know which. I think this is Isaac Henderson. By the way, Eric Avari's character is called Dr. Terence Bay. So there you go. So I wonder if that's a reference to Turhan Bay, who were in one of the, or two, or whatever, of the Mummy sequels. Anyway, where were we? He falls over and his glasses come off, and of course it's Benny that stands on them because they all go running past. Benny comes, like, leave me. He's trying to get his coat or something off, I don't know. And obviously it's him that stands up, breaks his glasses, and picks up the fella's torch and runs off with it because he's despicable, completely despicable. They go, wait for me. He's just in it for himself. So obviously he can't see where he's going now. It's like me, everything's blurry. But anyway, so he goes shuffling through the tunnels, unable to see. And then he's going to come across somebody now. I think he sees somebody in front of him. Hang on. Whatever. He sees somebody in front of him. And then screams. So, and then suddenly there's loads of scarabs chasing them, scarab beetles chasing them. Scarab beetles, a.k.a. dung beetles. But, where are they going to show us? There we go, all there. Evie falls through a trapdoor. There we go, because she thinks she's in a Scooby-Doo episode. There we go, off she goes. Anyway, they've jumped off this ramp or whatever, and the beetles have just sodded off to wherever. I think they come back in a minute, don't they? But where's Evie gone? Anyway, she's in a room and she finds I forgot his name already. Isaac thingamabob. Isaac Henderson. She finds him. Says, oh, does she say his name here? Let's have a look. Oh, for Pete's sake. Hang on, where are we? Does she say his name? I thought she did. Come on, say his name. Oh, Mr. Burns. Oh, right, so he's not Isaac Henderson. He's Bernard Burns. Oh, why? How come Tuck Watkins, who plays this fella, and Stephen Dunham look exactly the same? I'm going back. I'm on Wikipedia and hovering over their Wikipedia entry. They look exactly the same. Anyway, he's Dr. Burns. Excellent. Anyway. Says, Dr. Burns, thank goodness I was getting scared of it. He turns round. There we go. See, he's got no eyes. He's got no tongue as well. Imhotep has taken his eyes and his tongue. And he's always like, oh, I can't see. So she screams, ah! My eyes. But then she sees Imhotep comes lurching out of the darkness. And this is where we learn that she has a very masculine scream. She doesn't have a Fay Ray scream, does she? She's got a very manly scream. I think they don't mention it somewhere. I'm sure I saw it mentioned somewhere. I don't know if it was behind the scenes or one of the commentaries where they said, she's just got like a regular scream. She hasn't got like a scream queen scream, a high pitched one. Anyway, so she screams. And he thinks, because remember he's got Mr. Burns' eyes, Dr. Burns, whatever you want to call him. He's got his eyes, and without his glasses, so he can't see properly. So it'll be all blurry for him. And he thinks she's Angst and the Moon, Anyway, but then they're going to find her now. There we go. Well, this fella gets eaten by the scarabs. Look, they made short work of him. There must be piranha scarabs. Anyway, so here he is. So they're going to shoot. He shoots him with a shotgun. Roars at him. Because he's super brave and he's our hero. And shoots him. And they run out. But the Magi are there. You have unleashed a creature we have feared for more than 3,000 years. Anyway, no mortal weapon can kill this creature. So they're sodding off. They're going to head back to Cairo. And they're going to deal with him, they say, but they don't. Meanwhile, Benny's going to encounter Imhotep. There we go, thusly. He's going to try and weasel his way out of this one, and he does amazingly because he's always prepared. So he's going through all his I don't know what he's trying to do, but he's got a crucifix. Mother good Lord, protect and watch over me. And then he's got another a Buddhist thing maybe. He's going through all of them that he's got. There we go, chanting in Arabic. I don't know what that is. That doesn't work. But then he's got a Star of Day. No, they haven't got that yet. Something a Buddha. He's got a Buddha, hasn't he? He's got a. What else did they have there? Saw it there. He's got what they call the thing. A Kali. He's got a Kali, hasn't he? That from Jason and Sinbad and the Golden Voyage of Sinbad. He's got that there. Anyway, he finally gets out the Star of David and starts speaking in Hebrew. There we go, speaking in Hebrew, and he goes, the language of the slaves. I don't were the Hebrew still slaves in 1290 BC, or they gone by then? I don't know when that was. I don't know when the Exodus was. When was it? Let's have a look. When was the Exodus of the Bible? 1446 BC. Yes, so they'd actually sodded off by that time. By the time of this thing. It came right after Genesis, but before Leviticus. Came right after Genesis, but before the police. I don't think of rock bands. Anyway, so he says he's going to serve him now and they're going to give him some treasure. There you go. So he's now Imhotep's servant, is Benny, obviously. Anyway, they're heading out, but it's coming out of the ground because, I don't know, it does not go the way everybody else goes. It's a visual. Anyway, they're back in Cairo now. They're getting out of there, but she doesn't want to go, does Evie? But he's packing the bags for her. And she says, I'm not going. So he's going to lock her in a room. Anyway, they're going to find, I forgot his name, played by Bernard Fox, Captain Winston Havelock. Is he related to Edward Fox and all them? I don't know. Let's have a look. Bernard Lawson, better known as Bernard Fox, is a Welsh actor. No, he's not related to. I don't think he's related to like Edward Fox and James Fox, them actors. Apparently, we're in Hogan's Heroes, which is a series I've seen some episodes of, but I don't really remember a lot of them. All I can remember is the opening titles. Only we're in Titanic as well. So there we go. Anyway, so he's a pilot of the RAF and a bit of a drunkard. He's nothing to do, basically, and he's got a bit of a death wish, apparently. But anyway, so they're all boozing, but then something happens to the booze and it all goes weird. But in a minute, because the plagues are still happening, apparently. But anyway, Doctor, I keep calling him Doctor, but is he Doctor? I don't know, whatever. Mr. Burns is here. Remember, there's no tongue and no eyes. And Ben is there to see him with Prince Imhotep, who's hidden behind a mask. And then Ben is he's horrible. It's horrible. He says he thanks you for your eyes and your tongue, because he's going to get basically the rest of him, because he's going to absorb their life force. It's a bit like the vampires in Life Force. He's going to absorb them and become more human. And he's going to take his mask off, and we'll see him. There he goes. Oh, he's got loads of scarabs there. Anyway, then suddenly all the water goes rank. Does it turn to blood or something? I think it does. It tastes just like blood, yes. So there we go. And then the fire is coming from the sky. Do we see frogs? And I think we see the boils and stuff in a bit, don't we? Star of that show had a bit of a poor ending. What, Hogan's Heroes? I don't know. I don't even know we're in it. What, did something go wrong then? Were they? Oh no, it was a bird flying in front of the pyramid. I thought the top of the pyramid fell off. Anyway, there we go. All that's happening and setting people on fire. Right, so poor Mr. Burns has turned into looks like one of the puppets off. Speaking of Life Force, doesn't it? The guard in Life Force that were drained of energy by the female vampire. Looks like that. Looks just like that. But he won't be coming back to life in 2 hours. There he is. So he's regenerating a bit. There we go. Ooh, I feel grand, he's saying. Anyway, so he goes, shoots him again. Obviously, that doesn't do anything. Knocks him about a bit. And he's going to go and... hang on, missed a bit. There we go. The cat arrives. Does he kiss her? Have I missed it? I think he's going to kiss her. Yeah, I think he kisses her a bit later, doesn't he? But he's going to go and kiss her because he thinks she's Hamunaptra. Does he get new eyes to replace Mr. Burns' eyes, Mr. Burns' rubbish eyes? Does he get new ones at some point? Because I don't see him wearing glasses in this film. But anyway. Or maybe he just puts up with his blurred vision. He was found dead the next day in his apartment. He'd been bludgeoned in the head by a camera tripod. Oh dear. The next day, after what? After the end of filming? I don't know. Anyway, apparently he doesn't like cats. There we go, a cat appears and it freaks him out and he turns into sand. So he's Sandman from Spider-Man 3. I forgot the name. Flint Marco. He's Flint Marco, isn't he? So off he goes. So the cat saved them. Anyway, so they've gone to talk to, there we go, to, I forgot his name, Bay. I forgot his name. Terence. Gone to talk to Terence Bay. But the way we learn he's a magi. Yes, he killed Uncle Ben. He did. Anyway. So it says, we're supposed to stop the mummy, but you've let him loose and all that stuff. There we go. His love of Hamunaptra. That's why we're cursed, and he'll want to go back to Hamunaptra to bring Hamunaptra back from the dead, and all that stuff. Meanwhile, there we go. The sun gets. Is that one of the plagues? Did the sun get covered up? I don't know. I can't remember. I'll have to watch 10 Commandments again. Anyway, so. Right, so he locks Evie in a room, says, nobody goes in that room, and they've got to go and do something. They've got to go and find him. That's what they've got to go and find. Jonathan Pryce. But the mummy finds him first. Meanwhile, Ben is going through Jonathan Pryce's quarters, looking for stuff. I don't know what he's looking for. But... So there we go. Says, what does he want? There we go. It's the black book they found at Hamunaptra. He wants it back. He wants the book of the dead back. Something about bringing his dead girlfriend back to life. Anyway, jumps out the window in a Texas switch. Is that what they call it? Texas switch. Doesn't sound right. Anyway, where stuntman jumps out the window, and then Kevin O'Connor pops up. Anyway, so off he runs. There we go with the Jonathan Price has now become the late Jonathan Price, and he's got some of his canopic jars. So I presume he's going to absorb his internal organs again. I don't know, but then he's taking that back. And when he turns around, we can see he looks a bit more human now. There we go. He's getting there, isn't he? He's getting there. And he's going to release some flies out of his mouth now. There we go. So they close the shutters. That looks a bit rubbish, doesn't it? It looks a bit rubbish. But anyway, the flies all landing the people. Anyway, I think he's after all the people that desecrated his resting place or whatever. And he's after the canopic jar as well. So he's going to get got next, which he does. There we go. Loads of sand comes in and picks him up and turns him into a skeleton, more or less. So there we go. So now he's more or less human now, which is a bit poo, innit? I remember the original mummy. He wasn't a mummy very long in it, was he? Boris Karloff. But kind of gets like that here. Although we saw him as a mummy longer. But it's not a proper mummy, is he? He's not like covered in bandages. But anyway. So here he is coming through the keyhole. Or as we'd say in Yorkshire, key oil. Through the key oil with... who hosted that now? Through the keyhole. He had a range of sources. Lloyd Grossman, that's the fella. And David Frost. Let's go through... Who lives in a house like this? Anyway, that was my impression of David Frost, not Lloyd Grossman. Right, so anyway, there we go. He's turned into normal. But when he kisses her, I don't know why, but for some reason when he kisses her, his mouth goes all manky. There we go. So she's... I don't know why his mouth's gone like that. It just has. So he's got a cat. Hey! Snarling. So he turns into sand again and sods off. Right, so... they've got to find another book, I think. Is it this one or is it the next one? Anyway, I can't remember. Yeah, the gold book. Got to find out where the gold book is. They found the black book, and there's the gold book that they're looking for. Which we learn... she's going to do some research, and we learn it's in the statue of Horus or something. Anyway, all these become Imhotep's followers. They're all Imhotep. I think it's the plague of boils and blisters, look. And we see a fellow who's got white eyes. Which one is it? We haven't got to him yet. One of the fellows going, Imhotep. You see he's got white eyes. He's only got white eyes because he kept looking straight into camera. So they just painted his eyes out in CG. But we haven't got to that. Boils and sores. There we go. They've become Imhotep's slaves. There he is. Doing his weird talking and his weird mouth. I don't know what he's saying. We are cool, we are badasses. I don't know. Right, so she's reading the Rosetta Stone for some reason, and she finds out that it's at the Temple of not temple, inside the statue of Anubis, which means the gold book is inside. Black was inside the statue of Anubis. The gold book must be inside the statue of Horus. In a minute. Is she going to say it? She says it in a minute. Meanwhile, the bad guys are closing in on them. There we go. There we go. Statue of... I think she says Horus. Not Horus. Does she call him Horus?
At Hamunaptra, inside the statue of Horus.
Horus. Horus. Anyway. He's going to get the card, is Jonathan. But then all the... they all come out going Imhotep, so he starts going Imhotep. Apparently he didn't think this scene would work, did John Hannah. He says they've had me doing this scene and I'm rubbish in it. He says it's not going to work, but it did. And I think this might be the fella that's got white eyes coming up. Which one is it? We ain't got to him yet, have we? Anyway, so he gets past them. Right, he's here with the car now. He's here with the car. And they're all coming out. Where's the fella with the white eyes? I don't know. We must get to him eventually. Right, so it's a car chase now through the streets of Cairo. I'm guessing, is this in Morocco or is it in the soundstage? I have no idea. But more of them there. Look, Imhotep. But they're just ploughing through. So there's a cool stunt here. I don't want to miss it. Where is it? The fella goes into a lamppost. Oh, he's going to get got now. What's this character called? David Daniels, played by Corey Johnson. I've seen him in something else. What have I seen him in? Kick-Ass. The Doctor Who episode, Dalek. Born Ultimatum, we were in that as well. But I'm not thinking of that. My mind's eye, I can see him in something else, but I can't think what it is. Fourth Kind. Oh, yes, that's what I'm thinking of. He was in The Fourth Kind. He played Tommy Fisher in The Fourth Kind, which we've done, I think, on Friday Night Appointment with Fear. That's what I'm thinking of. Right, where were we? So he's going to get got now. He's going to run out of bullets, and they're going to get him. And there we go. I'm looking for this one with white eyes because he kept looking into camera. Anyway, they've crashed their car. Look, now they're heading. They want to find Bernard Fox. I forgot the name of his character again already. But where is he? Where are you? Winston Havelock. I can't remember that. Yeah, it was the main CEO from Dalek. Yes, he was. Yes, I remember that now. Yes. So they're looking for Winston Havelock. Now, Imhotep. Here they come. Says, I will spare you if you give me the book or whatever. She will come with me. We'll spare the rest of you. She said, no, I'll go with him. And you've got time. Everything will be okay. And he gets the key as well off Jonathan. So anyway, right. So are they getting somebody else now? They're getting Erica Vari as well now. Right, so they head out to got the car going again to Winston Havelock. He's going to fly them out to Hamunaptra. So there they are. Look, they've strapped a couple of them to the wings. Jonathan and our Death Bear on the wings. And off they go. Meanwhile, there's a big tornado, a dust devil, whatever you want to call it. But it turns out that is the mummy. That is Imhotep. That's his form. It's like the Tasmanian devil in the cartoons, isn't it? If he listens to My Chemical Romance, would he be Imhotep? Yes, he would. I couldn't name you a single My Chemical Romance song. I couldn't. Anywho, right, so there he goes. Look, he turns back into human form. And there they are, they're back at Hamunaptra. Is it just there now? Because before, you had to wait till dawn for it to appear. Now it's just there. Right, so, but then he sees the plane coming, and she's, it's O'Connell, and so he's going to raise up the sand, because he has the power over the desert and stuff. So he's going to make them crash. Did you see that big hair in the gate there? Hang on, I'm not going to see it now. Never mind. Just paused it at the right place, didn't I? You can see that hair in the gate. Whatever. So here he comes. There we go. His face appears. He can make his face appear in sand as well. So they're shooting at it. Of course, in the second one, he does water as well, doesn't he? He can just control all the elements, I imagine. So there they are. They're going to swallow them up. There we go. He says, "Don't be, you'll kill them." So she's got to distract him now. She's got to distract Imhotep. Look, they're upside down and everything. So she kisses him, and that distracts him. And there we go. The sands abate, but they still crash. That's my impression of an aeroplane crashing. There we go. So they've crashed, but everybody's alive apart from Winston Havelock, who has died with a smile on his face, as we'll see in a minute. There he is. He has expired in the pilot seat with a smile on his face. He's gone out like a good un. And then the plane sinks into the sand. So it must be the Kelvin Badlands, or whatever they call them, of Force Awakens. Because that happened to that TIE fighter, didn't it? That sunk into the sand. Did it sunk or sank? Whatever. Right, so off they go. Off back into Hamunaptra. Yes, he's going to get a... he finds these scarabs that the warden found, and one's going to pop up and go in him. But luckily, not get into his brain. There we go. It's gone inside him. So, Cornwall. So he gets his knife out and whips it out. Quick bit of surgery there. There we go. And they shoot the bugger. Right, so what's he going to do now? Is he doing his... going to make his guards come to life or whatever? There they are. Yes, his other mummies are coming to life. Cool. These are his servants, won't they, in life? And we're going to see soldiers later. But anyway... Right, so anyway, they found the treasure. There we go, they finally found the treasure room of Hamunaptra. Just like... National Treasure, innit? That film, National Treasure. With Nicolas Cage. But different. Anyway. Everything's gold. Anyway, obviously. Right, so what we got now? So we've got some... there we go. The Imhotep's minions as mummies. And they're just blowing them away. Because it's fun. Benny's there, though. But she's strapped down. Ready. She's got Anx and the Moon. I can never remember her name. Anx and the Moon next to her. Oh, there's a big rat as well. She wasn't happy about that in real life, was that big live rat on her. But, you know, it's acting. You get paid the big bucks. If they're going to put a big rat on you, they're going to put a big rat on you. Anyway, she sees Anx and the Moon there. Because he's going to transfer Evie's life force into Anx and the Moon and regenerate her that way or whatever. Is that what they were going to do in the beginning? Did they have somebody else there and they were going to stab the other person, sacrifice them? But they cut that bit out. I don't know. But I think that's what he's going to do with Evie. I think he's going to stab Evie, sacrifice Evie, and then, and a life force will go into Anx and the Moon or whatever. If they don't get stopped. But anyway, he's going to throw some dynamite. He likes the match on Ardeth Bay's cheek. He actually had a match striker strip or whatever you call it. Like it's in a matchbox. Not sellotape, but stuck to his face. So he likes that and blows them up. Anyway, meanwhile, Benny's getting much treasure as he can out of there. On up to the camels and horses or whatever they've got. Right, anyway, so he's going to do his... they was going to open up the book and start saying words, and the bad CG is going to come out in a minute. Meanwhile, they're still dealing with the mummies that are coming. They're still trying to find... This is the statue of Horus. Trying to get the golden book out of there. And there's a deleted scene where... remember the salt acid from earlier on? That makes a return, and they opened it up and it comes squirting out or something, and they use it to get some of the mummies, but they cut that bit out. But I don't know if we see it again, because we see Jonathan and he's like got an injured hand, and I think he's supposed to have been burnt by the salt acid. But anyway, meanwhile, Ben is putting the treasure on the camel. Is it? Is it? No, they've got that. Look, they've got it out. I think they've missed it out, haven't they? Yes, because we cut back and there's Jonathan, and he's got his hand wrapped up. Look. So I think when they opened this before, I said the salt acid came out, and I think Jonathan was supposed to have burnt his hand. But they also took out some of the mummies while they were at it. But they cut that bit out. Right, so they found the golden book. There it is. Ooh, the book of Amun-Ra. Chapter I. Meanwhile, he's still shooting mummies that are coming through. So he goes, save the girl, kill the creature. So he's going to sacrifice himself. You think, I'll head them off. So he's going to throw some more dynamite. He likes dynamite, doesn't he? Does O'Connell? But he throws some dynamite, and they get out of the way. More mummies blow up. Right, here we go. Here's the bad CG now. He's coming back. He's going to go into Anks and the Moon. There she is. Is it Patricia Velasquez there, or is it another actress? I don't know. Does it say? Let's have a look on IMDb. If it's working, it's still there. Anks and the Moon, Patricia Velasquez. Does it say Anks and the Moon Mummy? Or is it Patricia Velasquez? I don't know. It doesn't say. So I'll say this is it. Patricia Velasquez in there, but I don't know if it's true or not. Anyway, there we go. She's come back to life, but not looking as beautiful as she did at the beginning of the film. So that's she's screaming her head off. Going ah, not doing a fairy scream. So yeah, he's gonna do this. But then Jonathan's there. I found the book, Evie. So he's distracted him. So open it and read the inscription. So he needs the key, doesn't it? It's locked. So it's going to be a big fight. There we go, big Ray Harryhausen style fight. With CG mummies. Which looks, it's all fun and games and all that stuff. He's getting got by mummies, and there's another one that's bringing a big slab. There we see things there. This one here is carrying a big slab that he's going to squash Rick with. Vic. I missed that bit earlier on where he said, call me Rick to Evie. She goes, Vic. But anyway, so he can't reach that sword. Hang on, where are we? There we go. But then the dismembered hand, or disembodied hand, or whatever, grabs the sword. So he grabs the hand. Very, very funny. There we go. And he takes him out at the shins, and then he gets squished under the. All very amusing. Not very horrific. But anyway, right. So he's getting into the book. You see, look, his hand's injured. It doesn't tell us how. I don't think. Anyway, so he's reading, and there we go. But all these warriors of Imhotep's brought these warriors to life. So do something, Jonathan. Finish the inscription, and then he can control the warriors. So he's got to fight these now. We see these chaps again in the second film, don't we? In Mummy Returns, in London, on a bus, I think. Yes. Anyway, that one gets squished. There we go. Have I missed the bit where he goes up? Yes, he goes. I like this bit. Must admit, does that? Ting ting ting. Does that? So he's fighting these, running down there. They're all CG, running after him. Because some of them are CG and some of them are like men in suits. And I think these ones behind him now. Maybe not them. Some of them are actually, maybe super close-ups or whatever. I don't know. But some of them are men in suits. But I don't know which ones. I presume the ones that you can see through are CG. Anyway. Is that a man in a suit or is that CG? That looks CG. No, he's got his head taken off. I don't know. Anyway, so he's fighting these. It's all fun. There we go. No blood, by the way. They were told ILM because they wanted it to be like a PG or whatever. PG-13. I imagine it's a 15 certificate. Is this? Which is a bit harsh, I must admit. maybe it's because of the horrific elements, a fella having his eyes and tongue taken out. But there's no gore in it. It's all very dry. Anyway, sets that one on fire. That's a real man, isn't it? She's fighting Hamunaptra. She'll fight her again in The Mummy Returns, won't she? Anyway, there we go. It gets to the inscription just as Rick's about to be stabbed to death by spears. And he says the inscription, manifest or whatever. And they all stop. And now he can control them. Can Jonathan. And he tells them to go and kill Hamunaptra. So they're going to go, obviously. Imhotep's not happy about that. No, Hamunaptra. He can't control them. They're not listening to him, and they're going to go and get her. Look, no, they're going to go and get Hamunaptra. Stab, slash, etc. That's the end of Hamunaptra and Hamunaptra, whatever the bloody hell she called. And then Rick comes along and chops off Imhotep's arm, because Imhotep were going to start throttling Jonathan. So he chops off his arm, but he just sticks it back on again because I don't know why. He just can. But he's got the key for the book. Obviously, he must have been able to read the inscription on the outside of the book. I don't know, but anyway, I thought he'd opened it already to read the inscription, but the inscription on the cover must have been enough to control the guards. Anyway, so I've missed him sticking his arm back on. He just puts his arm back on. Come on, go back. There we go. Look, just sticks his arm back on. Anyway, right, so she's opening the book and she's got to read these. I like this bit where he's throttling Rick, and you see Rick's going pale, isn't he? Not the first time he's been throttled in this film, though, is it? But she reads the inscription, and it brings, like, I don't know, the chariot of death, or whatever. That comes down the stairs and takes his soul away. I don't know, but takes him away, but leaves his body there. But he's mortal now, for some reason. So he stabs him, and he dies. And he's mortal. He can die. And so he goes into the CG water, or whatever it's supposed to be, and then goes back down. It looks rubbish, doesn't it? It was of its time. But what does he say? It doesn't say just speaking. He says something. I'm sure Evie will translate. What did he say? Death is only the beginning. Oh, that's what he carved. Must be his favourite saying. What did he carve it with? On the inside of his sarcophagus. Did he find a nail or something? Or did he just do it with his fingers? I don't know. But anyway. So that's the end of him. There we go. And so now they've got to try and get out. But Benny he's going to go all Indiana Jones now, because he's struggling with his treasure, and he puts it down on this handy little thing there that turns out to be the lever that destroys everything. It's all starting to collapse now, so it's time to go. So off they go running. It's all collapsed. All the doors are shutting and everything. Sand's pouring in. It's like a Tomb Raider level. And Jonathan wants to take some of the treasures. No, we don't have time. Oh, by the way, they've lost the book as well, I think. They've dropped the book on the way out. There it is. Jonathan drops it. Look, and it goes into the pool of goo. And she says, "You've lost the book." But, too late. We've got to get out. So off they go. Go through this bit here. It makes me cringe, this part. All that's coming down, look. This part here, it makes me cringe. They're coming down. They get through there, but then Benny comes running, and he's willing to help Benny, saying, come on, Benny, give me your hand. But it's too late. And he says, see you later, Benny, or goodbye, Benny, whatever. So Benny's trapped inside now, and this bit, it makes me cringe. It does. It genuinely makes me cringe. Apparently it's not that heavy, this thing that's coming down. They told him it's not that heavy. I think it'd just break if it if it didn't get out in time, it'd probably just break, and they'd have to set it up again. But it's awful, isn't it? You think it's going to get squished? But he gets out. But apparently, he burnt his arm. Did Kevin O'Connor on this bit? All the flames went up his arm, burnt, seared the hairs on his arms. But he gets out just in time. But it does make my heart goes palpitations at that bit. Anyway, so he's stuck in there and he's surrounded by, there we go, scarabs, obviously, and all the lights are going out, the roof's collapsing, and he's stuck in there. We just hear him scream. So we presume Benny's dead now, we presume. Should bring him back from the Mummy 4. Benny's return. That's what it should be, shouldn't it? Anyway, they're running out. It's all collapsing. It's like the end of a James Bond film, isn't it? It's all the James Bond villain's base is all being destroyed, so it's all collapsing. And they got in trouble in this bit coming up. There they go, the camels. The Moroccan government thought they'd actually destroyed a historical monument because it's a fort, from an archaeological dig. It's a fort from when the Portuguese colonised the area. They thought they'd actually destroyed this part of the wall. They said, it's a historical monument, you can't destroy that. He said, we haven't, it's CG, don't worry. Go out there and see, it's fine. But anyway, they've got out there. It's all blowing up. Look, I don't know what's happening there. But anyway, if you can't see, it's behind my head. Some of this smoke down at the bottom stops moving. I noticed that earlier on when I was watching it. But as though it's just like a cutout of a bit of smoke that maybe they put to cover something up. I don't know. But excuse me. But anyway, Hamunaptra is no more. And but then we see Ardeth Bay's fine. He's got burnt hands as well. He must have had a bit of acid as well. I don't know, but he's fine. And you have earned the respect and gratitude of my people, or whatever. So off they go, and says we've got nothing to show for it. But they've got each other, obviously. There we go. So the ride off. Look, more muck on the film. The ride off into the sunset, or is it the sunrise? I don't know what time of day it is. We'll say sunset. They have another little kiss. And then we see, actually, yes, remember Benny was putting the treasure on the camel. So they've got enough treasure to be super rich for the next film. Because they live in a bloody mansion, don't they, in England. But anyway, and off they go, riding off into the sunset, we'll say. And then we get the cool... credits. I cannot think of words tonight. Get the cool credits with Jerry Goldsmith's amazing score. But yeah, cool. There's a bit coming up actually. Where is it? This bit? And I don't know if it says something. I don't know if these hieroglyphics spell anything out. I don't know. You can look it up on the internet, and I couldn't be bothered. But there's a bit at the end. I think after this, when this bit's done. Oh, there we go. There we go. That does this say anything? It just shows this like this one screen full of hieroglyphics. There we go. And I don't know if does it actually say anything. I don't know. But if it does, let me know. I know that says Ankh. But what else? I don't know. It probably says the mummy will return. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, that's the end of The Mummy. Great film. Oh, there's a bit more coming up. But yeah, great film. I really do enjoy it. I think it's miles better than the second one. Although I know Justy does like the second one a lot. He has said. I think. But Wingrace says, should have ended with a Mummy rap song. Yeah. I'm trying to think of something. No, I can't think of anything. Justin says, great movie. It is great. It's a great film. Pardon me. And it would if it were a Will Smith film. Yeah, did they want him for this film? Did they want Will Smith? I don't know. I'm thinking now. Winger says, I love Mummy too. Yeah, I think it's cool, but it goes a bit overboard, doesn't it? It suffers from Stephen Sommers syndrome. But it does. he kind of started going a bit overboard with stuff, didn't it? I disagree with you there, Justin. Second one is the best. Third is good. I disagree with you vehemently. The first one's the best, in my opinion. But anyway, that's the end of The Mummy. John Andrew Burton, who appears in Men in Black 2, and they didn't need to do much as an alien, and they didn't need to do much makeup on him because he kind of looks weird. It's John Burton. Anyway. The Rock. Yes, The Rock's in the second one, isn't it? Before he became Dwayne Johnson. But anyway. Anywho, right, so that's it for The Mummy. Great film. Everybody must have seen it. So, but, it is better than the second one, Julian. But anywho, right, so we're all done and dusted. Go and watch it. It is on... It's on Amazon, isn't it? And YouTube, and various places. Or you can get it on Blu-ray. Everybody's seen it. But, yeah. At some point, we'll do The Mummy Returns, because I do like it. But it's not as good as the first one. Despite what Justin says. I knew we would disagree. Or you would disagree. Yeah. I still like it. It's just not as good as the first one. It goes overboard a little bit. But it is still fun. Right, so what's coming up next? What day? Monday. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing on Wednesday. I haven't decided. I still haven't finished season 2 of Star Trek Voyager. But we'll see. On Friday, for a point with you on Friday, we're doing The Conjuring 2. So I think we're working his way out through The Conjuring movies. So after that I'll do whatever the third one is, Conjuring, Devil Made Me Do It or whatever, which I've never seen. That should be fun. Winggrace says Mummy 4, Brendan shoots Tom Cruise at the 3-second mark. And that's it, Mummy 4, Benny's return. It should be. Should find Benny as a mummy and bring him back to life. That's what they should do for the Mummy 4. Anywho, so right, we're done and dusted. We'll leave it there. We will leave it there. So thanks, Winggrace and Justin, for keeping me company. I better check and make sure I've no messages on Rumble. I had to close all the tabs again because it came up with a bad signal message. I think it does it if you've got too many tabs. No messages on Rumble. Right, fair enough. We did have a stream boo on Twitch. There we go. Best viewers on stream boo. Still don't know what that is. Anyway, right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks, Justin and Wingate, for keeping me company while I waffle for 2 hours about a film that I love. And it's better than the second one. So thanks for watching, and wherever you are, look after each other. Oh, hang on, where are we? Benny was alive the whole time because he had the Pirates of the Caribbean immortality curse. Maybe so. Always a good time, said Justin. He was just trapped, yes. And it was him, the screaming, it was just him eating all the scarabs. And he was going crazy. Anywho, right, so as I said, thanks for watching wherever you are. Look after each other, and until next time, I'm going to sort myself out here. Where are we? Till next time, I'm sure I forgot something. Too late. I'll say the